morning everyone, welcome back. Here you go. So as you can tell, we're all one color again and it's looking pretty good. I'll take the camera here and we'll do a little walk around in a minute. So I just want to explain a few things here. The last time you saw this, I think we were just playing with some pinholes and doing a final prime, I think, and a final sand before spraying some paint. So I didn't film any of the painting or the clear coating or the priming for the fact that I was using air, high volume, low pressure sprayer, and the shop turned into a fog, basically, even with ventilation and everything else. And obviously, if you don't have anything covered up, you get all your overspray all over everything. And I didn't want that all over the camera. So I'm sure you understand. But so here you go. Anyways, this is the final product. And we did a complete spray, one side to the other, basically. And I'm gonna go through all, from start to finish, basically, all the products that we used. So just so you know what we were using start to finish, and then paint, primer, stuff like that. And then if you have any questions, by all means, leave them down in the comments section, and I'll do my best to get back to you and answer them. So, anyways, here we go. Let's do a walk around. If you see these little marks here, that's for the decal. It still has to go on. Both decals are currently back ordered right now. So let's do a little walk around here, probably give you a little bit better view of what's going on, and we'll get on with it. So here we go. This is the back of it here, obviously, and if you remember the back corner right here, and that's our back corner repair there, and comparable to the side that wasn't damaged. I think we've turned out okay back there, and we're gonna work down the side here then, obviously, and gonna let this focus for a minute. And obviously I think everybody knows where the damage was here, going down the side, and as you can tell, we're all fixed up there and all underneath all the way through, so we're looking pretty good here. And so the light there is kind of reflecting a little bit weird. And then as we move through here, all the way down, and then all underneath, if you go back in the other videos, you'll see where all the damage was. And obviously, this is all repaired up. Just trying to let the camera focus here a little bit for you. And again, looking down the side, nice shiny reflection, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm not sure, you're getting a weird glare there, but there you go. The spray turned out really well, so very happy with that. And we'll just come over here to the other side. There is very minimal damage that was on this side, but we did a complete spray front to back, right? And yeah, it all turned out very well. So again, back here on this side where the bulk of the damage was, where we were really concerned, so that all turned out well, and quite happy with it. Probably give myself an 8.5 out of 10, I think. So there's a few little things I'll explain here, but as of right now, we're gonna put this camera back up on the stand, and then we'll talk about some of the things that we did and some of the product that we used. So one thing I do want to point out here before we get going on materials and everything else, 8.5 out of 10 is what I said. And the reason I'm saying that is the repair's solid. I have no issues with this going out and pounding waves and hitting wakes and staying together. I'm quite confident behind the repair. The reason why 8.5 out of 1, or 8.5 out of 10, so if you look down this at the right angle with the right light, you do see a very small outline of the repair area. And this isn't a big deal. So I always compare boats to vehicles. Vehicles where you're able to take, you know, a body part off and either replace it, spray the entire area. You know, it's a lot easier on any unit that you're able to take a panel off and replace it or do a full repair on that panel on a bench or what have you. With a boat, you don't have that option. So it's solid, right? And again, with the material that we have here, it can be a little tricky too, just on the repair side and whatever else. So there's a small area that, you know, and you can feel that all day, and it's smooth, like it's nice. But if the sun catches up the right way, you can see a repair area, and more often than not, you're gonna have that. So if you damage a boat and whatever else, when you take it in to get it repaired, you always know where that boat was damaged. And the person who does the repair always knows where that boat was damaged. And more often than not, you're going to be able to pick up on where it was repaired. And honestly, there's really nothing that you can do with that. Over time, when this sits out in the sun and whatever else, that will eventually fade in, and it will be very, very hard to see. And same with gel coat too. This basically covers any repair area. You're always going to see it to some extent. I've had vehicles that have been repaired by body shops, and there's this one shop that I go to, he's no longer open now, he's closed now, he retired. But that shop and the owner, they could do some pretty wicked stuff. They were very good, they were highly regarded. Excellent work. And I could take you out to my truck right now and show you exactly where it was repaired. And it looked good for, you know, 3-4 years. You know, you couldn't really pick up on it unless you looked for it, but as the sun hit it and I guess faded the clear coat or what have you, you can see the repair now. And again, it's not a big deal. Nobody else really sees it. I can see it. And you know, maybe it's sometimes being too hard on yourself too. You're trying to make something perfect that's in an imperfect world, I guess. So whenever you're doing a repair, either for yourself or for a customer, you do want to lay out expectations, because I always tell people right away that if you're looking for this to be a brand new unit and you're expecting to have no flaws, you know, nothing like that, go buy a new unit. Hate to say that, but that's the honest truth. Sometimes you get lucky and, you know, you can do up a job and, you know, you even surprise yourself. But more often than not, you're always going to find some flaw. You're going to find something that's going to indicate that it was repaired. So just wanted to bring that out and into the open, and you know, to help people understand that, you know, it's repaired, it's solid, it looks good, but you're always going to see where that repair was done, 100%. You know, you have friends over or whatever else, they're probably not going to know unless you point it out to them. And anybody going by your boat dock or whatever else, they're not going to know. But being the owner and knowing that where it was damaged, you're always going to know where that was, so you're going to be looking for it. And the repair shop's always going to know where it was, because, you know, that's the place that they've been working on for however many hours. So I just want to point that out. And again, I'm not really exactly sure why on this one. You can see a little bit of a line of where it was repaired. Because if you look back in the primer too, and I've been going over footage and everything too, I had this all primed pretty much all the way down. But you can still see the main repair area basically. And it could be, you know, because I did prime the entire unit and then I came back and sanded it and did some, you know, pinhole touch-ups and everything else, and I re-primed again. And it could be, like, we're talking hundreds of thousandths of an inch, like, you know, thin as thin. But it could be that, you know, it was more primer buildup in that area. And yes, it did get sanded down and everything prior to the top coat, to the paint. But, you know, when you're talking hundreds of thousandths of a millimeter, you know, that's very small. And sometimes the paint will highlight, or the gel coat will highlight some of that, right? So it's, you know, has nothing to do with it. The thing that we have going for us on this was that there's going to be a decal going over top of this, and the decal is going to break that up 100%. And I mean, I could sit here too and tell you that, you know, it's a perfect repair, 10 out of 10, and we have no issues, because the chances of it even picking up on the footage is very minimal. But again, I want to be transparent on this channel and explain this stuff to everyone, and, you know, to just kind of take a step back, I guess, on some of this stuff and realize, you know, this is one of the realities of boating and one of the realities of owning a boat. So I think maybe more of the people are educated on this, that, you know, they're going to be less picky, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but, you know, to be more reasonable, possibly. So, I mean, if we're talking, these units are expensive in themselves, but to be perfectly honest, you know, it's going to be pulled back up on a beach, it's going to be loaded and unloaded off the trailer, and the bunks themselves are going to scratch the bottom of this. You know, you pull it up on the beach, that's going to scratch the bottom of this. And, you know, there's some other nicks and scratches already on this unit. You know, it's only 2 years old, but the top side of it, you know, has scratches and everything else on it. And, you know, you gotta put things into perspective. This isn't a show boat, it's not a show car. If this was a brand new Chris Craft, or, you know, a boat that was well over the $100,000 mark, and it was brand new, and, you know, it had to be repaired, you're definitely going to try your best to make it a 100% repair, and you might be a little bit more picky at that point. Even as the repair person, you're going to be a lot more picky, just knowing what it is. But again, you have to put things into perspective as well. And the fact that this is probably going to be pulled up on the beach, you know, the 4th time out, and it's going to suffer scratches and dings and whatever else right away. I mean, it is what it is. It's still a boat. You're not going to put it on a shelf and look at it. It's not a trophy. So, you know, you put things into perspective. I even think the rub rail here behind me is all dinged up and whatever else from rubbing. So at the end of the day, you know, you gotta settle for what it is. And like I say, the decal's gonna go over top of this, so unless, you know, you are actually gonna be actively looking for this, you're probably not gonna see it. Which again is no big issue. And the only other thing I want to point out is, and it might show up, and I'm not sure, but right about here, and there's a bit of a dip here. And you can feel it, and to be honest, I'm kind of shocked that I didn't catch that while I was sanding, or, you know, with the longboard, and even with the primer. I'm not sure exactly, but this whole area here it was concaved in, right? And same with the bottom here, it was concaved in. And I'm not sure if that has something to do with the crack that went along the hull here. And, you know, that allowed everything to separate and start pushing in, because I think this was sitting up on like a big rock that was sitting right here, right? So this got pushed in, that got pushed in, and I mean, you saw in the repair that we had to bring our repair area up to here, the same as down here, down to the, one of the lines in the hull. And, you know, again, the decal's going across that, you're not gonna pick it up. And I'm not saying that's okay, I'm not saying that, you know, a decal is the be all and end all of it. You know, so I'm not sure exactly. I knew there was a little bit of a dip there. I thought it was a little bit higher up, I think. But at which point do you draw the line to? Because I did have my straight edge across here, it was straight. And I'm somewhat thinking that this has something to do with the hull being split and with the pressure that was put on here. And I think the hull kind of got pushed in different areas, right? And, you know, in hindsight, if I would have caught that, you know, even at the priming stage, you know, it would have been nothing to come in there with fairing compound and fair it up and make it all look pretty and whatnot and perfectly flat. But I didn't, and it didn't really catch it until we put the undercoater on. And at that point we were kind of not too late. I mean, we could have stopped and did it, but I mean, that would have put us a few days behind and whatever else. So, you know, you make that decision, and the fact that we knew that there was going to be decal over it, and we looked at it for a good solid 10 minutes and, you know, weight options and whatever else, but at the end of the day, you have to realize again what it is. So, and again, I don't really have to be sitting here explaining this to you. I could say that the repair went off without a hitch and everything was fine, and you know, we don't have to worry about it. It's a perfect job, but again, want to be transparent on the channel as well. So yeah, again, 8.5 out of 10. I think I'm pretty good with that. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, I know that, you guys know that now, but at the end of the day, when this thing goes back out on the water or whatever else, and you know, we're all deckled up here both sides, it's irrelevant. And like I say, I've picked apart boats that I've done repairs on, you know, on carpets and whatever else, and I'm picking myself and my work apart, you know, 1/4 inch at a time, basically. You know, if you cut too short one place, or you miss the perfect edge on, you know, going around a corner, on a rounded corner, and you know, that bugs me, because you want to you want to do the best possible job that you can, and then, you know, you feel a bit better when. Well, good morning, everyone. In the last video that I did, I ran out of memory again, so I don't know how much of the last video is recorded, I guess. But since then, our decal came in for this side. We don't have it for the other side yet, but we have it for this side. So I went ahead and I put that on yesterday morning, and that turned out really well. And I'm not sure what I all touched on in the last video, because I don't know what's all going to be recorded. But whatever minor imperfections we had, they are 100% covered up. And not that we want to cover things up, but if you refer back to the last video, you'll know what I'm talking about. And again, it's nothing that the average person would have caught, but you know, just spending so much time, eyes on the unit and everything else too. I mean, you tend to see all this stuff, and sometimes because the owner knows exactly where the damage was, there are a little bit more eyes on the area too. But I'm happy with how this turned out here now. The decal on there, it looks, you know, it looks awesome. It looks really good, so really happy about that. Obviously there's sponson still has to go on here, and that's it, but that's for the other shop to do. So I just gotta get this back on the trailer. They want to come pick this thing up so they can get the engine back in it. So I'm just going to do a quick video of hoisting this thing onto the trailer and getting it all set up, and it'll give you a little bit better view then too of the overall repair area, and you can compare that to the previous videos. So with that being said, let's get to it. So I figured while we had it up, and this is more or less the angle that you have seen this thing at for the last few videos, and you'll be able to check this out. It's actually a lot better picture, I think, than the past videos. So there you go. That's our, I apologize for that post, but that's our repair area. That's the big one anyways, right? So here's our line coming down the side, and I gotta say, I'm fairly happy with how everything turned out here. And this is, again, the underneath, and you might remember some of the damage and everything that was all under here. And it was pretty badly road rashed, right? So there you have it. I'm gonna try to get you a back corner picture here maybe. So here we go again. It's kind of dark to see that back corner, but if you remember as well, that whole back corner was gone. So there, let's continue what we're doing here, get it back on the trailer, and we're done. All right there, folks, that's a wrap. She's done. I'm gonna throw the cover on this. It's gonna go outside. They're coming either today or tomorrow to pick this thing up. So that's all for the Yamaha Wave Runner video. We're going to do, I think I had said that we're gonna do an overview then about the paint, and just an overview of all the products that we used, only because the painting wasn't involved. And I know there's a few questions out there too about, you know, certain things to use and whatever else. I'm hoping to cover all that in a short little overview video. So other than that, I hope you're having a great day. Hope these videos were of some help to some of you out there, or you found some of it interesting. If you do, by all means, please hit the subscribe button and the like button in advance. I thank you very much, and hope you're having a great day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks again.